Morning. Okay, it's going to be a funny old week this week. We've got a lot going on. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know where I'm going to start. So, here's the plans. This week, we've got the V-belt pulleys to switch because they're ready to break. I've got to get that thing over here and get that all cleaned out and parked up in the car park over the road over there. I also need to clean up in here as well because I can't move, because one of the other jobs I want to do next week, which I can't do this week but next week, I want to get that tailgate in here and I want to get a camera slot made for it. I want to get the filling done on all the dents, knock out the dents as well, and I want to order in some paint that up in blue and bolt that onto the truck because I don't like the way that glass on the truckman cab is sitting. I also need to get that off the bench as well because that's starting to annoy me. I have actually given that bike to one of my kids who wants to build it up into a calf racer. Totally against the idea. I put all that time in to turn it into a Steve McQueen style era trialie, you know, enduro, old enduro. But he wants a, anyway, it's up to him, and he do what he likes, he's doing, he's spending the money on it. Sometime in the forthcoming months, I need to start assessing whether this can be triked. If not, that could find itself being sold because it's just a dead weight sitting there. I might be able to get another machine that can be triked. I also want to cut that thing up and sell the engine on that. And once that lorry is gone and I've made my mind up what I'm doing about paint coverings, I want to shift this thing out the front because it's no good sitting there. I then want to organise all the legal stuff on it after the covering has been put on, because I say covering because I don't know what I'm doing. That might be paint, I might just lacquer up what you see as you see it. I don't know, I really don't know. I genuinely don't know what to do with the damn thing cover wise. So I mean, it started life as a rat rod, so it should end its life as a rat rod. So there you go, that is what we're doing this week. But before we get into that, I want to say something. Bear with me. Okay, comments. One guy, Shay, suits you, sir, thank you. I think it does as well. Scruffy old bugger that I am with an old heap of shit like that. Yep, that suits me. Great purchase, nice truck, looking forward to the few videos on this also. Well done. Thank you, that's a good comment. It's a very good comment, Mr. Rover 1, thank you very much. What else have we got? Oh, we've got another one. I had one of these a few years ago. Lovely truck, sorry, I misread that. Lovely truck. If I remember, I had trouble with the speedo, even booked it into Nissan and they could not fix it. Have got a V6 3-litre Jeep, a friend of mine has one of those and he loves it, absolutely loves it. That's a diesel, V6 diesel. Cherokee, now I like big. Hello, yeah, well I like big as well. I've been driving around in that Citroen for I don't know how long and it's been driving me up the wall, to be honest with you. And there was one more comment which I haven't blocked it, I've just hid it, and that comment was, you've bought another heap of shit, well done that man. Hey, freedom of speech, you go ahead. I don't have to put it up though, I don't have to display it, so don't moan at me if I've hit it, because it wasn't a very nice comment, but it was expected from you, which is fine. I can take that, because I was thinking exactly that the day before I read it. When those switches underneath went, I thought, oh, what have I done? What I have done is I've bought a Nissan Navara that's a little rough underneath, that's what I've done. But the engine, according to a mechanic that I pulled out the other day, just because I needed to know 100% if I was right in my assessment that that engine was a good engine, and that's the only reason why I bought it. And he came out, he checked everything, he checked the breathing, he checked the smoke, he checked everything, oil, colour of oil, everything, and he says that is a very strong engine, and I have took him for word on that. So I did actually, I feel I did well. Now what I also want people to know is, as I've been looking for one of these for the best part of what, 6 months or more, yeah, good 6 months. And do you know what I've been finding? I've been finding adverts that say £2,000 or nearest offer, spares or repair, no MOT. And the worst part about that no MOT is they are a minimum of what, 2 hours to 3 hours away, and for me personally, that's a hell of a drive. Now I could go and get it, and I could get somebody with a trade plate to bring it back. I could do that. No, I couldn't, because the only guy I know with a trade plate wouldn't do it, and I would have had to pay a lot of money to have a recovery truck bring it back. So let's just put this all in perspective. You know what I've paid for this because you've seen the online auction, right? And there was fees that went on top of that as well. So it went quite high. It went quite high. It was worth this thing on a normal day, 1,003, 1,004 on a normal day. But we're not in normal times, are we? Because these things are being exported to Africa, and they're also being bought up by the Ukrainians as well. So that is one of the biggest problems I've had. Anything remotely decent within the price range that I had, that I paid for this, is being snapped up so quick you just can't get your hands on them. So my only other option was to save up 4,000, which that thing would have been dead before I got to 4,000, and I've been left with no vehicle, and I need a vehicle because I've got a person in my house that's disabled. So I need a vehicle. I need a vehicle that I can put a mobility scooter in the back of. I need a vehicle that I can put my grandkids in. I need a vehicle that can take my crap to the shop, to the tip, and I need a vehicle that I can pick the crap up from the tip, because I'm just one of these people that just can't stop doing that. Okay. The other option was to buy one for about £2,000, but they all the adverts, including some of the Toyotas, they all had spares or repair, or they didn't fit the criteria that I needed. But the biggest problem was, right, I paid £2,000 for a truck. I've then got to pay a recovery firm to go and get it. That's going to be another 200, maybe 300 quid on top, maybe more. I mean, I was looking at an FG a few years ago. Go what, £2,000 to pick it up from Wales. £2,000. It's just not feasible and viable. So that is why I went for that one, for the money. Yes, it is a bit rough underneath. It's close, very close to being too far gone. If I don't get under there in the next 3 to 6 months with a power washer blaster and clear the rust where all the seams are, I am at risk at losing that cab permanently. The chassis, that is surface rust. I've knocked that about. The hammer has not gone through any of it. It is not delaminated inside. Just cosmetically, it's just a little rough on the outside edge where it started to blister. I plan to sandblast that all back. I plan to put shed loads of bed liner on it, and I also plan to spray loads of old engine oil inside it to stop it from rotting from the inside like a Land Rover. Even if I do find some holes, it's not the end of the world. You've seen me patch up that Land Rover. I know I can do this. If I lose the seals, because at the moment they are the one part that I risk losing, I said to the wife, all I'll do is I'll cut them out and I'll put a block of box steel along there, and that's all it needs, because it's that kind of a rugged vehicle. So I paid at auction 15. I paid extra for fees, I'm not going into it. I could have bought one off the internet. I would have had to pay a minimum of 1,008 to 2,005. They were the adverts I was finding, and they all had spares and repair. They all had some sort of problem with them, and they all needed trailering back. And I can promise you, trailing them back from 3 hours away will be the best part of 600 quid. I looked into it. This is cheap. Trust me. You might not think it by looking at it, and I fully appreciate some of you are looking at this thinking, what a heap of shit he's bought. Honestly, I looked, I scoured. There is nothing for sale in Suffolk where I live. Nothing. The only thing that's now recently come available and where of was an L100 round the corner. He originally wanted 1,000 for it. I mean, you think this thing's rusty? You want to see the state that thing is in. He's now dropped it to 800 quid. I can see that being bought and sold abroad. So if I say to you, I feel I've done well, I do honestly feel I've done well under the circumstances of the climate that we're living in. on a normal day I shouldn't have paid much more than 1,300 for this, is my own personal opinion, okay? But we're not normal circumstances, and that would be regarding any criticisms on that truck. So the first journey of this week for you guys is to clear up this horrendous mess. How do I let myself get into this? I never, I know how I get into this. I get so engrossed in what I'm doing that I just put stuff down, pick stuff up, put stuff down, and I never put it away. I actually do need to now screw tons of screws. Now I'm giving myself 2 days to do this because I've got to put screws, because I've got to hang stuff. I've got more stuff that came the other week. Some stuff I don't think I actually need. But yeah, I need to put some screws along the walls and stuff so I can hang more stuff up. We've got some space over there. That one of those shelves I spoke about that I thought he was going to bust up, actually he still has it. But everything is in the way. I was going to put it over here somewhere, take some of these shelves down and stick it up here, and then I can put all my bits in. But as you can see, I'm pretty clogged up, and that wall, it's got too much weight on it. You can see that beam there, look, that was straight when I built it. In fact, it's is that split up there? No, it's a cobweb, but as that's pulled down, I've got to get some steels and I've got to jack that up on both corners and get that level, because even that beam is gone. But the door failed to shut a few months ago, so I've got to lift all of that up, and then I've got to cut the bottom of that wall out. I was going to take the whole wall out, but I think just by cutting the bottom out and creeping behind, I think I can replate it back up enough, or put some bricks along it, some, you know, those cinder bricks, and go from there. These are handy. I had these given to me the other day. Old chopped up rubber car tyres, ideal for making what I made for this there on the rubber tyres. So I've got one more thing that needs, that's it, the fuel pump. I need to mount that to rubber, so I am actually going to use one of these, chop it up and make a rubber piece for that. Somebody asked if I would film and speed up the tidying up. Oh mate, you just want to see me go through a lot of pain, don't you? That's all this is about. It's not about clearing it up. You just want to see me sit there and just pour sweat. Okay, I will put the power cable on. I'm telling you now, you might not get to see it all because my camera and my computer are not talking to each other at the moment, because I have no more memory left on hard drives. And if I try and, in fact I'll have to load this up tonight and delete a few more footages. I need another hard drive, and external hard drive, desperately, because I'm now deleting videos. So the first part done. Now we've just got to put the toolboxes on here, take the crap off of there, sort that all out, and then we're going to have to find somewhere for that damn bike, because it cannot stay there. We'll have to stay there for the moment, and the lathe eventually, when it's fixed, if it ever gets that far, is going over there. It's bugger. Right, so now we've got to tackle this one, which means I'll end up messing that one up to tackle this one. I'm going to shut this camera off and I'll bring it back when the bench is cleared and these are all tidied up, and then I'll just quickly scan around everything for you to have a look. Alright, so okay, so my bedroom, it's next day by the way,
My bedroom is now tidy, mother. God. As tidy as it's going to be anyway. The floor I can't do much with because every time I sweep up, I sweep half the floor up with it because it's all turned to sand. Because I got that middle mix wrong. Got a bit tight with the cement. I've still got to clean up around here, but I'm not actually using this side, and I think I will chase after that. Apparently he hasn't burnt those shelves, so I will chase after the last one, and I'll pull those bikes out at some point, and I'm going to put it over there where that gap is, but I do need to go down and get some steel so I can lift that wall. I might have to remove that cupboard over there on the wall because it's shot. So a bit of reorganising, more screws on the walls, more tools hanging where they need to be, plug socket to charge. I've still got a shelf to build for them. I've cut some old pipe up and put my drills in there. Impact drive, a couple of batteries leaning up there. I just need to make a tray really for the batteries to sit on. Bench is about as clear as it's going to be. Can't do nothing with that. Can't do nothing with that. I ain't gonna know where to put it. My boy, I gave the bike to my boy. I'm just waiting for him to make a decision, but he is so slow at everything he do. You can see me finishing it myself and maybe doing the smaller of the two tests to get it on the road. I've heard rumours that the government are going to reshake CBTs, and you finally do one CBT and keep it for the rest of your life, which would be great because they're super flipping expensive, and that never used to be like that. When you had a car licence, you could jump straight on anything up to 125 on nails and ride. And if I'm honest with you, if I had that, I wouldn't be doing any of this. I would probably build a 125 up, a trolley or something like that, and have the Vegas as a weekend ride out, because as a trike. So I'm not. My biking days are done, if I'm honest. My knees are too sharp. If I fall off, I'm going to hurt badly. The V-belt pulley system is ordered. That won't be in until tomorrow morning, so I might as well get on with something else for now. And I do need my tailgate, so I am going to sort this out. And the reason why I'm enthusiastic for this, because I want to put a camera pod mount actually flush with the tailgate where that damn great dent is there. I also want to make a steel cover for this, get rid of the Nissan badge, and then I want to fill it and sand it, which is a couple of weeks work sitting here really when you think about it. Now, to access all the dents, we're going to have to cut all of that out. I'm lucky because I've got two tailgates, so I'm going to leave the middle ribs, and I'm going to take that one out there carefully, and I'm going to take that one out if necessary, and I'll take that one out. I will not be welding those back in. They will just get thrown on a pile. I won't throw them away though, because they've got these little dents which will be handy for something else somewhere else. I'm sure I can use them, so I'm not going to completely throw them away. But when I am ready to fit this onto the vehicle, I am going to take my other tailgate off, and I'm going to very carefully measure out the same holes, but I'm going to go a little bit wider, and then I'm going to get my tool and I'm going to put a lip all the way around so as it will sit relatively flush. I might even do it on here as well, actually thinking about it. That way I can put them down flush. At that point I've got two choices. I can screw them down, or I can then tack weld all the way around. Either way I can get them back on. I'm more up for pop riveting them down, because if I ever need access in there again, at least I can drill out the rivets and open that all up and bang out any unnecessary dents that might occur. See, this is in fabulous condition apart from the dents, and I believe the dents were done at the yard because yeah, well, whatever the reason was, that's what happened. So when it comes to putting them back on, I will seal the hinges with sealant so we don't get rust behind the hinges, because I have noticed on this D22 the build quality is not very good. Everything else about it is nice, just the build quality is pretty rubbish in some areas. I've noticed that I got rust where the seals are, the inner seals. I got rust running all the way along, and and if I don't get to that soon, I'm going to end up having to replace the seals, which I don't mind doing, because I'll just get a piece of box steel and I'll just weld that sucker in. I'll cut the whole flipping lot off and I'll just weld a piece of box steel in there, and that'll be the end of that problem. I never have to look at that as a problem ever again, which means I can then take the side steps off and I can put electric ones on for the wife to get in, what you get on the old Range Rovers. Not an issue to me. So first jobs first, we need to measure everything up, square off. We're leaving them, hopefully. We do have a dent roughly in line there, which is going to be a pain in the butt to get to, but I just don't want to take them out. I will try and get as close as I can along there, but not too close. I'm not going to take that out. We can always put pop nuts in as well if need be, so if I can get a good lip all the way around, might be able to drop some small pop nuts in and bolt that all back up and just put a little tack weld on each pop nut so as nothing spins at a later date. That's all I can think of. I am not a body panel man, okay? So this is what I've kicked out. They weren't quite as bad as that, but they were bad enough, and I had to cut that whole panel out, which doesn't scare me because I've got the other one, and if I don't, I do have, bear with me, I do have that sheet there and this tool here, so I can always make new panels if these older ones are going to be a nuisance. Not an issue. Gives me an opportunity to look inside here as well. So I don't know if I need to cut the other side out at the moment, because there's nothing significant apart from that one there and that. Well, right, maybe I do need to, but we'll see where we go. I've checked it for high spots. We've got a lot of low spots. I mean, we've got one there, but maybe a hammer in there would work. I don't know. I think we can get away with skimming some filler over that. That is the best I'm going to get that. Those ones, on the other hand, are going to be a bloody nightmare. I've got to really think this one through, because those two are, those two are in a difficult position, and that one's behind the plate that's already behind there, so and that's got to be kicked out, so the plate's got to be cut out. So I think that one is going to be where the camera's going. So I don't really know how to explain it. That lip there is where that is supposed to go, but someone's peeled that off. I need to replace this anyway and run it all the way down to the bottom, but it does sit slightly forward of that. Actually, I won't do nothing. I'll leave it. I don't want to upset that panel anyway. So what I will do instead is I'll make a new cover to go over this, and I'll take this Nissan badge off and move it down to here somewhere with D22 put on the back. So yeah, I mean, you'll see what I'm talking about now, because this one hasn't been cut. Watch. See that? And it's bowing the glass. So that other one has already been cut. Do you know what? Yeah, sod it. We'll leave that one alone. I can't get that one any better. I've tried my hardest with it. There's a big old steel plate hidden behind that one, so I've managed to bring, because this is a tin can in the middle where it got hit, and I've managed to bring the tin can back to its original shape, because it goes like that all the way along. I managed to bring that back. We've got a few dings here to be filled, obviously those as well. We've got two more over this side. This is the worst one, and it's done that to the panel. And I'm reluctant to cut that panel out at the back just to try and knock that one out, because I don't think that's going to knock out very easily. I reckon it's pretty bad, but I reckon we might I don't like filler. I don't like it at all. And I've got to fill anyway, but I'm trying to build that side back up with filler. Oh, is there something else I can think of? Good enough. Can't get rid of that one. Got rid of that one. Just want some filler in that edge there, and good to go there. I had to cut the bottom out. I tried drilling holes, that didn't work, so I'm going to make 2 new plates which are going to be pop riveted and glued into position. I think I'm going to do them first. No, I'm not. I'm going to work out where this camera's going first, because I want it right about there, which I'll get rid of that, but we do have a blasted plate in here, so I may end up having to cut that whole area out as well, which I didn't want to do, but what can I say? The plate is in the way and I can't get the plate off without wrecking that anyway. I need a bit more access in there, so I'm thinking cut that out, make a new plate for that, and then we've got access, full access into the tailgate at any given time, so I will be able to keep on top of the rust at all times. Right, welding the camera box in, but something's something has gone wrong with that in shape wise. I mean, it looks like it's going off that way, then it squared it all off, but it didn't quite bend right. Don't know, and we've got a nasty gap down there I don't like. There's not a lot I can do about that apart from tap that in with a hammer once I've gone around and stiffened that all up. I've also got to weld the back to a plate, and that's where one of the major dents was as well, so sorted. Wish me luck. Well, it's welded. Did I warp it? I warp every other damn thing, didn't I? There you go. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not the neatest of holes, but I'm planning to put a cover around that anyway with a smaller slit. And we'll be putting a couple of little drainage holes at the bottom, just so that the water that get in there can run out without going inside or holding itself and rotting it out. Now, I'd love to get a piece of plastic to go along there. In fact, I'd love to get one to go all the way along there, but not really necessary. I did say to the wife, maybe put a bit of checker plate along that bottom bit and paint it blue to match, and then cut it at an angle so it follows that line, so we go that way. Maybe I don't know, but we do need a camera on there, and I don't want a camera poking out everywhere. I like it to look factory. No, I don't know if I pulled it off, but I mean, the shape as is at the moment is terrible. I don't mind admitting that, but once I've got a piece of, say, like stainless cut, it would probably work, because we're putting stainless over it. I don't want all that chromy crap either, but I don't have anything else that I can use that won't rot on me. So if we use stainless, we've got a load of, see that sticky back stuff? We've got a load of that. If we stick that on the back of the stainless, put in some pop nuts, we can screw the stainless on and that will stick out a little bit as well, see, because of the foam, and then we can maybe pull that one off a little bit, who knows. It's not perfect, I'm not going to pretend, but guess what, it ain't warped, and that's something for me, because normally I warp all my metal up. Now, I cut that side out as I said I was going to do. Managed to pull that back, couple of little ding there, but that one's almost gone. I can't get to that one. Still got that one to knock out, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get to that either. Yeah, no, I'm not, so we'll just have to live with that. So what I need to be doing next is making up the trim for that with the hole cut, which will be fun. And once I've done that, I might bead roll it actually, so it can fit inside that gap there as well. Might do. Could actually do it so it'll fit in both. Ooh, really have got to pull out the skill set. Anyway, we can access the screws from underneath because we've cut, as we spoke about, that panel. And after I've done all of that, I need to cut some more metal out from that and start making up the back plates to go back. But before they go back, I'm going to fill all of that. So we'll take that off. We're going to fill it all up, get it right down to bare paint in most places, and put filler on, sand it all back, which I'll do tomorrow, or part tomorrow. I've got the V-belts to sort out on the truck tomorrow, and then after we're done that, okie dokes. Getting dark out there now, and I'm getting a bit tired, and I haven't had any tea yet, so I'm going to go to bed. This is kind of what I was thinking. I put a bead line in as straight as I could get it. That went off a little bit. We are chroming up here if we can get away with it, but it's going to be a difficult one. Okay, that's a bust. I didn't get that bead line very straight. It's a bit wobbly. And the hole in the middle, the whole thing's terrible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a strip of that off tomorrow. I'm going to make a new hole in the middle, and this time, actually no, I'm not going to cut a fresh bit because the bead is in the way. I will try and do a bead around and reduce that hole size, because that hole is ugly. Okay, half an hour later, it's a new day by the way, I've made that. I think that's about the only thing I can do. I was going to do a tin one originally, but yeah, I kind of went with that instead, and I'm going to paint that all up. I was thinking about polishing it because it would match, but the problem with polishing it is damn thing will stand out like a sore thumb, and I don't want it to, so I'm going to paint that black. I'll put some etch around it, wire brush it all back, and I'll just do that. We're still going to do a chrome cover for that, but I was thinking about it and I thought, well, why not just get rid of the chrome and just go with a piece of tin from down there and just paint it, because it would look so much better if it was black, and then the little chromy bits that I'm putting on will stand out a hell of a lot better than that. Remember, we've got a chrome bumper which I'm going to be ripping off and welding up soon, so we've got that to do, which beggars the belief to why I brought home chrome mirrors. I mean, I'm assuming they're chrome and they don't have a chrome cover over. I know some Jeep, no, they are chrome. So yeah, chrome plastic mirror. Well, they'll do for spares, won't they? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eliminate as much chrome. I'm going to put a sheet over that so I can, because the whole point of it was this piece here, which has been stuffed with polyurethane. On here, rubber mat. This is the sort of stuff you get in playgrounds. A friend of mine who works for a company gave me a few sheets that he was throwing away that was in his truck, and I thought, well, why not? It was actually given to me to make, where is it? To make a load of these, which might work. The one thing about these that this don't have, that does. Start again. The only thing what this has that this doesn't have, to why I'm not sure it would work, is the nylon. And I've been cutting this stuff this morning, I've been sanding it, and it's very useful, but for this application it works brilliantly. Right, cover plate. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Still disappointed with these holes here, but there's nothing I can do about that now, so I'm not going to bother. I've got 2 pop nuts. I've just got 2 screws. I don't think I need any more than that. The thing bows anyway naturally, so when you screw that down, as long as I don't get too tight, I need to put some lock nut in there, but you know, and that will bow with the shape. So yeah, kind of works. Now we've got to make up something for that. And if I had a bit more of that left over, which I haven't got, where do I put it? If I had a bit more of that, see, it's so small I can't find it. There it is. I don't know. I'll try and make something to go over that, and no, I haven't got enough. Look at that. See, don't have enough at all. I hadn't cut that corner out. Didn't think of doing that, you see. Dumb shit. Never mind. There you go. A few dents and dings, but nothing. Well, I say that fairly major there, but I hope I can pull all of that out without putting too much filler in, but I can't do any better than that unless I physically weld a new sheet in place, and as I've spoken about in the past, I'm not very good at doing stuff like that. So although the old saying, practice makes perfect, but not on this tailgate, because it's actually in better condition than the one that is on the car presently, because the one on the car has got rot underneath there, whereas this one is fairly clean and tidy, and that's the way I want to keep it. Yeah, cutting out the back was a pretty dramatic and major thing to do, but I can put those back, and if I'm honest with you, I prefer it this way because it gives me full access to the interior of this, which for me is good, because if I need to do any more future repairs or I want to add something else to the back of the tailgate, I can. In fact, one of the things I'd like to add to this, if I can get some metal together, is a couple of nice large reversing lamps, but bright, really bright LED ones, and it'd be nice to fit them in this. I can't put anything up here, but I can down there. Problem is I don't want to paint this damn thing and then come back to it at a later date, so I may very well look into this before I go too far on it. Okay, Navara. This shouldn't be too difficult. I'm hoping I can loosen that one off, and that'll push the alternator that way. And we've got that one down here. I'll loosen that off. Should be able to shunt that out of the way. You can see the state those belts are in. I don't want to risk it. They probably would last a little while longer, to be honest, but is it really worth the risk? No. And the oil, I have no idea what that's all about before anyone comments, but one thing I plan to do is to degrease this engine bay so I can see where the leaks are coming from. I don't actually have anything dripping on the road anymore. That was the gearbox protesting. We've resolved that. So let's get to it. There we go, new belts, everything's nice and tight. I'll try to do a double check. There's 4 belts in total. Talk you through what you have to do if you own one of these damn things, because it ain't as straightforward as I thought it was going to be. Right, first belt to come off, power steering. You've got to loosen that and that off, be careful because that one jams up. Then you loosen that off and then you can tap that down and pull the belt off. Second one to do is you undo that pinch bolt there, undo that, tap that alternator forward. However, you need to undo that more, because to get those belts out of this, or to get the new one in, you've got to get that really sloppy. However, there is another one tucked right behind there. Same routine as this one. Once this one's gone, these two are gone, you undo this pulley that's underneath and loosen off the wheel, and then you can get that one off, which is the air conditioning system, and then it's all the reverse to do it all back up again. It's just such a tight space. That's what makes it really annoying. We are doing rather well this week. We've got the batteries charged up on the lorry, so soon to sort that problem out and getting rid. We've got the V-belt pulleys. We've got done. We've got the reversing camera slot, and oh voila, the filler is now going on. I was right about this area. I was hoping it wouldn't need a lot of filler in there, but unfortunately, it was a necessity. So I think I'm on the home straight now. No more filler required. I think we should be good to go. I'm going to put all the symbols along there anyway, so don't know, see where we end up with what I'm planning on doing, but yeah, we'll prime, and once we've got this sander down and I'm happy with it, we'll take it outside, we'll give it a brush down, degrease, and we'll put the first coat of primer. I'm planning on putting 2 coats on this before the weekend gets here. I can't do any more than that. Once the primer's on, I'm afraid this goes in the corner until I can afford the blue paint. I am desperate to get this fitted, if I'm honest with you, because I'm scared to death that window's going to smash, because the window's bowing because of that what's it in the middle. But you know, I can't do any more than that. Okay. That's filler primer. I wasn't sure if it was going to go hard because the catalyst had gone hard in it. I had some other catalysts from other products, but to be honest with you, most of my products are all about the same type of stuff. So I had reservations, but it started to go off. There's 2 coats on there, and where the discrepancies are from over sanding the filler, I went over a little bit heavier. What I will do next is block sand everything in order to get a better level, but I'm not putting any filler on. I'm finished on that. I don't want any more on there. I mean, the question I ask myself is simple: how far do I need to go with this to make it look okay and acceptable? Considering how many dents that were in this, I think I've achieved quite a bit. It could be way better, I'm not denying. Okay, if I was to spend a week on this, I could probably get this looking like a brand new panel, but it's going to get a bit of a beating, I'm afraid to say. I just want something that's clean and tidy, presentable, and I think once the blue goes on, which is a week or more away, I think this will be okay. I had a bit of a hiccup there. I suddenly realised I hadn't sanded all the filler off. So halfway through I got to that point now, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I had to scratch it off, and unfortunately the filler dust went everywhere. Not a lot I could do about it. I didn't want to sand it down after the primer was on because that could put an uneven line where the bead rolls are, so I chose to just take it out, and I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter, I've got a block sand it, not a problem. I will put another coat of primer on this after I've block sanded, just to try and take out any more lumps and bumps, because they will show up on the paint that's going on. One thing I have been thinking about on this though, this area here will get damaged, so I might get some checker plate strips and run them along and under. So what I'm saying is when I put the liner in underneath, I'm going to try and get some checker that I can run along that lip all the way along, just to add a bit of protection to that. Okay, I said there wasn't going to be a phase 2 on this video, but because it rained all day and I couldn't do much outside, I decided to flatten this down, which is what I've done. Found some high points, found some low points. I wasn't planning on refilling, but there were some real high points that I couldn't deal with, so I had to hammer them in and then refill over the top. And there was only 2. There's one here and there was one here, and that really did stick out like the proverbial sore thumb. So yeah, we had no choice. So it's come out okay. I'm quite pleased with this actually. Yeah. So we've got to dust it down now and start thinking about another coat of primer, which I wasn't, well, I was planning to put it on, but I didn't want to put a lot of it on, you know. It takes one whole jam jar of filler to cover the whole thing, so my coffee jar over there on the end, so I need to fill up another one of those, but my catalyst is a little low, so I don't know how well that's gonna be. See, you'd think that's spot on. You can't feel an indent in there at all. And as I say, that one and that one over there were the only 2. I don't know how much filler I got over there. I know there was a lot over here. Oh, that side, one of the 2 sides, but you'll never know it's been done. So, yeah. Hey. Stage 2. I've just flattened what I have done before. And yeah, I had to add more filler. I don't know if I've already recorded that. I suspect I haven't. I've now gone over it with a second coat of filler primer, and I'm happy. So tomorrow, when it's dry, I'll flatten this one down because it's a bit rough in places, a bit orange peely. So we'll flatten it down, and then that'll be ready for colour. I don't actually know when that part is going to happen because I haven't got the colour to put on. The only mistake I've got is that damn fly landed. But the rest of it, I don't know if you can see that. Really need a shine to be able to see where the curves and creases are. Trust me, there ain't any. I ain't found any yet anyway. Everything is reasonably straight and flat. So I'm rather happy with that. So we've got to make a cover for that, which I'll do in the morning, because we could paint that as well and get that ready for prime. I actually got some black around here somewhere, and I could wire brush that back as well, so that's ready to go back on. What I do need to do is to plug my camera lead into the stereo, so when I do get round to putting this on, I can just plug the camera up and away we go. So I've got to go somehow, I've got to go through the bulkhead, through the floor, underneath, strap it down as I go, and then back up where the tow hitch is, and then into the bottom of one of these damn holes. I've also rust proofed under there as well, and there's some hammerite. I mean, I pour the hammerite everywhere in that, so hopefully any water that gets in will just run straight out of the drain holes and won't take out the metal. That's the plan. So yeah, I'm over the moon with this. A little bit of a discrepancy there possibly, I don't know if you can see that, but do you know what, I don't, by the time I've sanded this back so it's all, you know, nice and smooth, I don't think you're going to see a lot. Okay, Friday, raining, shit weather, trying to get stuff done, but all I have been able to do all week really is just do stuff in the shed because of the weather. Which is why you've somebody forgot to turn the lights off last night, which is why you're stuck with this. I want to watch an episode of Junkyard Digs, and I've got to get this done at the same time, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray a guide coat. Where is it? Over the top. There we go, there's a brown. And I'll watch my programme while this stuff's drying, and then I will come back out, sand the bugger down. That's all you really need. Just a dusting. I don't need any more than that. Right. There we go, it'll be over the top over there, but right, we'll let that dry and then we'll get some wet and dry on it, and we'll take the orange peel off, and this will also help to highlight all the lows, not the highs but definitely the lows. The problem with the high points is you're going to sand this all down, so but you'll know it's a high point because there'll be paint left around the outside area. So well, I'll demonstrate if there's any. To be honest, if there is any, tough, because I've took this as far as I want to take it. The next process after I've sanded this down is to get the blue paint on, but I haven't got any at the moment, and put the lacquer on. I have the lacquer, I just don't have the blue paint. So subject to weather and how long it takes to do this, we'll see if we can get that manifold off. We'll move this out of the way because I need the bench, and we'll see what the heck it is we did wrong on the carbs. I'm still 90% sure I've put those plates on wrong, and but all this wet weather, I don't really want that engine bay open to the elements while I'm doing it, you see. So if this rain doesn't ease off, then I'm just going to do the last bit in there and then upload the video. Do not want water in there. You see the split on the bonnet that runs down? Water can run through that, and if I've got an open header, you know, if I've got the manifold off, that means that chamber, and I've forgotten the name of that part, but that chamber is wide open. Water can get into the intake and kill it. And I've already killed 2 V8 engines from that same problem, letting water get in the engine bay. What the hell is that cat doing? Pouring rain, it's just sitting there. What are you doing? Huh? Not my cat. I don't own it. I know who does. I found out, but it ain't my cat. Right. Right, we're on the home straight with this. I've just washed it all down. Weather is okay at the moment, but can't really do any more to this now, apart from we went a little too far some areas, so they're obviously high points. It's not too bad. I mean, there and there, high point. I think, yeah, I think that's going to be fine. There's only one that has me a bit. That one. That's actually a low point there, but I hand sanded that out because it was rough, and I'm not planning to do any more filling, so we're just going to have to live with that. Literally. So I'm happy with that. I'm more than happy with that. So we'll let that dry, and we'll hit that with some spray rattle can primer just to cover them areas up. Can't put paint on that, you see. And then we'll gently rub that back when it's dry, and then we'll leave it until next week, because I can't do any more to that now till next week. We need the blue. I have not got it. So we're going to pick that manifold up in a minute, or inlet. Talk about the next thing to come off. Definitely the rear bumper, because I want to fix all of that down there. I've got to whack all of that out, replace the metal, and I might even take the tow bar off if it's not wet weather and hammerite that up. The next thing to come off after that is the front bumper and the eyebrows. And we're getting close to winter at this point, so how much of this I'll be able to put back on, I don't know, because we've got to strip the 4x4 off, we've got to sand all of that back, and we're at risk of repainting all of that and this as well, because I don't know if I can save that. I'm thinking rub the wings down, because they're not bolt on, the weld on. Rub the wings down gently, spray up where the wheel arch is sat, re-lacquer and polish. The bonnet is scratched as well. I don't think I can save that. Look at that, look. So we'll have to remove that, take that into the shed, but we're not going to give it. In fact, the only panel that's good on here is the blasted roof. Yeah. So the doors are trashed, but there are other doors that I can paint up and put them on in the summer, switch the doors over, and then we can do the seals at the same time then. And then come summer of next year, we'll get underneath it, or during the winter maybe, and power wash all the rusty areas of the body and and get rid of that rust and bedline the hell out of everything. And then I think we've got it. We're there. We've saved it. So this is going to be ongoing as another project, just to tart it up over the next 12 months. But the next thing come up as we spoke is and I apologise for any wind blow you're hearing. The next thing to get off is that bumper, because we've got to sort that out. And what I actually want to do to that is I want to buy some spot lamps, some bright LED jobbies, very similar to this, if we can get them. You see that little sucker up there? He's really bright and rugged, and I think if we can get a couple of those and wallop them in, so when we put it in reverse and then it illuminates everything up, and then the camera will pick everything up, I will be able to see where I'm going and I'm less of a hazard. I can drive this, I can reverse it. Why not make your life a little bit easier if it is within your capability? That's kind of how I see things. Glad I bought new lights from the yard, because that one's got a crack in it. And then before the MOT, we've got to polish all these lights up. That one's being replaced because it's cracked. That one's polishable. The one I've got in the shed is very polishable. Scoop's getting bed lined. Haven't made my mind up yet if I'm bed lining the bumpers and the wheel arches, because that would be the easiest way around it and it would still look as good, my thinking, because it will give it some texture. But we can do that in blue, we don't have to do that in black. That's pretty knackered, and to be honest, once we start hammering out and filling, I mean, I don't want to fill anything on that. If we can help it, just hammer it all out and see where we go with it. We've definitely got a lot of rust and I can't find another one of them, so if I can't save this, I'm going to have to make one from scratch. Not really sure how that's going to happen. I'm seriously thinking about removing this as well, because it's brook, and maybe re-rivet this one down. Must be a way of bringing that black back. Don't know. You know what? 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to take me hours to edit. I just popped the bonnet up with the attitude of, I don't want to do this. And guess what? I don't want to do it. Not this week anyway. And you can see the water's sitting, which means if I take it off, I've got to put it back on again today. And I don't have a lot of time left, and the weather's going to open on me. I mean, it could be a 10-minute job of just literally taking the bowl base off and switching them around, but then again, it might be something more sinister, and then I've got to leave this open to the elements, and I'm not risking it. It's as simple as that. I've already destroyed 2 V8s in this vehicle because water's got in, and I'm not doing it to another one. So I'm sorry. I will pick this up next week because the weather's better. So I will finish my tailgate next week. I will get this thing, I hope, running next week. So stay tuned for that. And we'll just pretty much go from there. In fact, I need to put that electrical cover back on, because I don't know how much water is getting in. So I will put that back on, and I'll now go upstairs and do some editing. See you next week.